I've joined TransUnion's about 2 years ago, and one of the things that I certainly saw as a potential was we were sitting on really an amazing set of data assets that I expected would only become more important, right? As the modern marketing world is becoming more people-based, more driven by identity, I was confident that what we had at TransUnion, given the businesses we've been in, was a really great initial asset. But we were also very aware that in order to be relevant for where the market was going, that we had some work to do, that we had some holes to fill. And so we recognized 18 months ago when we made the investment in Tru Optik that they were doing some amazing innovation in a part of the world that clearly was only going to become bigger, which is in the world of connected television, streaming media, connected audio, however you want to kind of label that bucket. And so we've been working a lot with those guys over the past 18 months to connect our various views of identity and the tools and products on top of that that we think the market needs. And ultimately, we've got to a point where to be able to fulfill what we think on the potential that we see, we had to do it as a single entity. We need to be able to move faster, get more integrated, provide the level of innovation that can only be done when you are truly one company versus partners. And so for us, this is about continuing to enable that identity-driven future where the connected home is only becoming more important and where streaming media is only becoming a larger part of the ecosystem. For us, we're very focused on all channels, right? That omnichannel view of identity and the solutions that go with it. But again, a key piece of us being relevant in that space was clearly we needed to make sure we had this piece as well, that we were fundamentally able to understand the streaming media future.
And you've gotten a pretty great team through the acquisition with Andre, and he has a pretty deep bench. Tell us sort of what the human factor is, and also if any preliminary thoughts about the brand. It obviously has a lot of recognition in the industry. Let's talk about those items, please.
Sure. Yeah. Well, listen, the human factor is huge. Great team, and I've really enjoyed getting to know them. And this is where I think acquisitions work well when we do have this history. It was really fortunate that this wasn't a speed job, if you will, right? I have gotten to know the business over the last 18 months. We have worked together, and we've seen the innovative stuff they've done in market and the great team that they do have. And for us, it's central to that, right? This doesn't work separately. It's not just about technology. It's not just about clients. It's also about putting the right people together to build that cohesive team that has the right mix of skills necessary. And so, listen, I can't wait to welcome Andre and his whole team to the TransUnion family. They're going to be a huge piece of what we continue to do going forward. In terms of the brand name, I mean, listen, for right now, certainly for the moment, the Tru Optik brand continues to exist. They're going to continue to operate really in many ways independently at the outset. It takes time to make sure we find the right points of integration, even though we know each other well. That's not done overnight. But long term, we'll find out the right way to put these pieces all together. Listen, it's all TransUnion at the end of the day. And how we leverage the different brands, both from Signal that we recently acquired and Tru Optik, are a little bit TBD. But what is important to me ultimately is that the market recognizes we're going to have one big TransUnion solution set.
What is your position in the marketplace? It's really going to change quite a lot.
Yeah. Well, listen, I think it's an extension of where we've been, but we recognize that the market doesn't fully know it yet. And that's our job, is to continue to do a better job of telling our story. And that story is this, Rich, is again, we fundamentally believe that the future of the media and marketing world is driven by identity and people-based marketing. And that is done both at the individual level as well as the household level. A lot of the channels of the media world are all about reaching into the household. And what we're here is to enable that. And we want to enable that on two primary kind of axes, if you will, right? Again, a set of identity solutions and a set of audience solutions that goes with it. And that's a mix of having the right data assets and also the right technology tools and products that enable us to help that market, help the community fulfill on those ultimately marketer needs and consumer expectations. And what we see is happening in the marketplace, given the things like the death of the cookie and the reduction of mobile IDs and the push into streaming media that changes the signals that we can use, that the whole industry is having to do a certain level of re-architecture, right? This is a time of great change. And we also hear from the market that there's a whole bunch of needs that have still been unmet, right? That the solutions that exist today can be faster, can be easier, can be more automated, can be more transparent. And so our story isn't to invest in where this market's headed. right, to a true omni-channel view of media and marketing, to one that's rooted not in devices or any single signal of identity, but in a multi-keyed world based on individuals and households, and to build the solutions on top of that intelligence that make it easier to transact, and you can have more trust in who you're reaching, what performance you got from your marketing efforts, et cetera. And so that's what we're after, doing that, enabling this future, right? We want to be in many ways, behind the scenes, helping whether it's marketers or media companies build the tools they need to fulfill the expectations of their clients and their consumers. And again, but we do know our swim lane fundamentally is in this world of identity and audiences. That's where we'll be uniquely positioned to be a market leader. And that's our expectation, is that that's what we'll become.